In our last video, we discussed about event times. Okay, there were two event times. Earliest, if suppose this is an event, TE was earliest event time, and TL was latest event time. Okay, so TE was the time at which that event could occur at the earliest, and TL was the time at which it could occur at the latest. Okay, so right now we are moving on to activity times. Okay, activity times, we are discussing about 4 parameters. Okay, and first one is earliest start time, that is EST. Okay, before getting into these terms in detail, or how can we find that out, we want to express this scenario into event terms or activity terms. So T and TL was event terms of I. Okay, and suppose there is this activity named A with time ij, Tij. This is event J, and there is TE and TL for event J also. So for better identification, we will mark it as TI, TLI, and TJ and TLJ. Okay, so for each event there will be a set of TE and TL. Okay, obviously. So we have duration of that activity also. And as we know, slack was equal to, for any event, it was TL minus TE. We discussed in our last class, because TL came first because it was the latest event, because that will be the largest numerical time value. Suppose if you take an example like this, 1, 2, 8, 9 is the duration, suppose, say, and TI is suppose 0 and TLI is 0, and TEJ is suppose 9 and TLJ is suppose 12, arbitrary values. Okay, and obviously TL values will be greater than TE values, so TL comes first minus TE. Okay, and if slack can be expressed as S, SI can be expressed as TLI minus TEI. Similarly, for this, Sj can be expressed as, slack of event J can be expressed as TLJ minus TEJ. Okay, clear, that's it. Okay, and we are coming to activity times. EST, that is earliest start time. And earliest start time, consider this generic terms. Earliest start time we are considering of activity A. Okay, we are not considering events earliest start time, we are considering activity earliest start time, EST. Okay, so what will be the earliest start time from these 4 parameters? We have 4 things. What will be EST of A? EST means earliest start time of event A, that is TEI, because TE was the earliest occurring time of event I. Event I is the starting of activity A. Okay, so keep attention. Event I is the starting of activity A, so TEI will be EST, that the value itself, that is, as this example, 0. Okay, this value TEI for an activity, the earliest event time of tail event, this is the tail event and this is head event, tail event will be EST. You can just visualize it. Okay, that is EST. And next one, earliest finish time, that is EFT. EFT is TEI. You know what is early start time, what will be earliest finish time, that is early start time plus TIJ. Okay, you know what is early start time and you know what is duration of this activity. So TEI plus TIJ, the duration of that particular activity. Okay, that is from this example 0, 0 plus 9, that is equal to 9. Okay, and it may not coincide with this value, it can change or it can be anything else. Okay, it need not be equal to this value, it may not be equal to TEJ. Okay, so next one, third one. So we are done with two earliest times. Next two is latest, obviously. Latest start time. Latest start time is, abbreviation is LST. Latest start time is the time at which this activity A can be started as late as possible. What will be that time? That is LST. Okay, so earliest start time and earliest finish time was all about starting the activity at the earliest possible way, and the latest times will be the times at which the activity will be latest as possible. Okay, so next we will start with the next one actually. Latest, last one, latest finish time, that is LFT. What will be the latest time of finishing of activity A? Okay, and that you can directly get from these two values. What will be that value? TLJ. TLJ is the latest value, latest time moment at which J can occur. Okay, so TLJ will be the LFT. Okay, so that is this value 12. Okay, and what will be LST, latest start time? The same similar way we found out EFT from EST. What we did, we had EST at TEI, we added TIJ to get EFT. Okay, right now we have LFT, latest finish time, and from that LFT finish time you can get LST by TLJ minus TIJ. Okay, I hope it's clear. You will get these two values directly from even values, this one, this one. Okay, and you will get earliest finish time by adding TIJ with TI. You will get earliest finish time. Okay, and in here you will minus TIJ to get latest start time. Okay, you can just remember it by, we found out T values by going forward and TL values by coming backwards. Same thumb rule. Okay, we are finding out latest starting time by going backwards. By EFT is found out by going forward. Okay, so TLJ minus TIJ is equal to TLJ is 12 minus 9, that is equal to 3. Okay, so considering these examples, you have 0 as EST, 9 as EFT, 3 as LST and 12 as LFT. Okay, I hope it's clear. So similarly, we had slack with respect to TL and TE values. We have a similar concept called float. Okay, we have similar concept as slack in case of event times. In this, it is named as float, and float by definition, it's similar to slack, but it is in case of activity times. So float is the time with which an activity can be delayed or fluctuated without affecting the duration of project. Okay, so if the total project period is 11 weeks and there is float of 2 days, you can delay that activity for 2 days without affecting this total time period of 11 weeks. Okay, so that is float. Okay, so in case of slack, it was you can delay 1 or 2 days for occurrence of that particular event, but in this case it is based on activity. You can fluctuate the whole activity, you can delay the activity, you can elongate that activity into 2 days if float is 2 days. 2 days without delaying the whole project. The whole project time will not be affected. Okay, so that is float, and I hope you get the definition. And there are a set of types. There is a classification for floats, and first one is total float, that is FT. Total float is equal to, again I will just draw it in here, TI, TLI, TJ, TLJ, TIJ, NI. Okay, total float is calculated by the difference between any two start times or two start times or two finish times of activity times. So two start times are LST and EST. So obviously bigger one will be latest. So FT can be calculated by LST minus EST, or difference between two finish times, LFT minus LFT minus EFT. Okay, so we'll check it. LST is 3 minus EST is 0. So you will get total float in our last example as 3 days, right? And in case of second one, LFT is 12 minus EFT is 9, again 3. So you can find out total float by any of this equation. Difference between two start times or two finish times. Okay, and next one is free float, that is FF. Okay, so for example, if you get total float as 3, suppose you get 3 as in this example, that means the total project duration will not be affected if this particular activity is delayed by 3. Okay, if this activity is 9 days, there will be no problem if it gets into 12 days. If it gets completed in 12 days only, even if it completes by 12 days, there will not be any delay in the total production time, total project time. Okay, that is the relevance of this value. The whole project, that is the point, and that is the difference here. Okay, free float or FF is the duration with which an activity can be delayed without delaying the next activity B. Okay, so total float was about not delaying the total project duration, but free float is about not delaying the next activity, just next activity. So obviously free float will be lesser than total float. Okay, so B, I will just name this TEK and TLK, and duration can be named as TJ. Okay, so considering activity A, free float is the delay value by which A can be fluctuated without affecting this activity B. Okay, that is free float. That is the concept. And free float can be calculated simply by, how can be calculated? You can find it out by logical means, just logical means. Okay, by logic, the requirement is activity B should not be affected in any case. So that time value will be early start time of B, right? Early start time shouldn't be affected. Early start time of activity B. Now this value, the next value, activity B minus, what will be that? Latest or earliest finish time of activity A. Okay, EST of B, that is earliest start time, that will be TJ, earliest start time of next activity minus earliest finish time of current considering activity, that is EFT of A. Okay, that's it. EST of B minus EFT of A. So what is this EST of B? That is TEJ. Okay, right, it's clear. As TI is the EST of A, TJ will be the EST of B, right? So TJ minus EFT. So we need to express of A because we are considering only these set of values. So TJ minus EFT will be the free float, and you can find it out by one more way, that will be equal to total float minus SJ, that is T next head events slack value, TLJ minus TEJ. Okay, total float minus SJ is also same as that value. Okay, I hope it's clear. So you can find it out by two means, TJ minus EFT or total float minus SJ. I suppose this is more easier. Okay, so we will consider this, and there is one more, independent float. that is FID. Independent float is the duration with which an activity can be delayed even if this activity is delayed to the largest value and this second activity is occurring at the earliest time. Okay, don't get confused, it's very simple. We considered EFT as, that is early finish time of first activity, right? So in this case we will be considering LFT, latest finish time rather than early finish time. So we are considering the worst case scenario, that is activity A is completing at the latest time and activity B is starting at the earliest possible time. Okay, so that is simply EST of B minus LFT of A. Okay, so you can just find it as F free float minus SI. Okay, so independent float FID can be found out by subtracting slack of first event, tail event of considering activity from free float. Okay, so free float minus slack of tail event. Okay, so we'll just underline that. There is one more type of float, that is the lesser important one. The main types of floats are these three: total float, free float and independent float, and one more to name it. This just comes under this classification: interfering float, that is FIR. By concept, that is, we know total float was the float that does not affect the total duration. Okay, and free float was the float value that will not affect the next event. Okay, so interfering float is a float value which will be interfering with the next event but will not interfere for the total project value. Okay, by the name itself, free float is free, it will not affect any other succeeding event activity, and interfering float will interfere on the next event. So by definition itself we can conclude that interfering float will be the difference between FT minus FF. Difference between first two, total float and free float. So obviously, as we know, FF as FT minus SJ, so you can conclude interfering float will be same as SJ. Okay, so it is as it is just a bit crowded, we will just simplify it. TJ minus EFT, and that is also equal to FT minus SJ. Okay, and free float, independent float, it will be free float minus SI, and interfering float FIR is equal to FT minus FF or SJ. Okay, so these four are the important equations. Okay, so I hope these are clear. We are considering a set of an activity with the help of event values and slack values. We have EST, EFT, LST and LFT. Using these four values, we find out float values that are similar to slack values in case of event. Float values are in case of activity times. And there are four types: total float, that is difference between two starting times or difference between two finishing times. Free float is total float minus SJ. Head events we will just head event slack, FT minus SJ. Independent float, FF minus FF was this one minus SI. SI is difference between these two. Interfering float is just SJ, or you can take the difference between these two. Okay, so I hope it's clear. Now we will move on to a problem. So this is our question. We have a network diagram and we have to calculate activity times and floats. Okay, so before calculating activity times, we need to calculate event times, obviously. T and TL of each of these events till 11. Okay, so we'll just do it like we just did last time. We will start from 0. Okay, and this is the event. T will be written at the top and TL will be written at bottom. Okay. So these are the set of TE and TL values for over. That is the first step. You cannot avoid that step. So you have two sets of values for each event. Now what we will do? We will just take this set of values into our table, then work out this problem. Okay, so just let's take these values. So this is the table. We have activity, duration, tail event, tail event values, that is TEI, TLI, SI, head event TEJ, TLJ, SJ, slack values, then 4 activity times and 3 floats. Okay, and obviously fourth one is not included because we know that is SJ. Okay, and we will just try to write one by one. 1, 2. Okay, 1, 2 duration is 1 to 2 duration was 8. TI means tail event. TI is 0, 0. Difference is again 0. Head event is 2. So 8. Difference is 0. Okay. So what was EST? EST was TEI, right? EST was equal to TEI. So just write TEI as EST. Okay. So what was EFT? EFT was equal to EST plus duration, TIJ, right? So that is EFT, EST plus TIJ, that is in this case 0 plus 8, that is 8. Okay. And EST will be calculated from EFT. What was EFT? EFT was this value or TLJ value, right? That is 8 TLJ. And LST is calculated by LFT is equal to TLJ. LST is equal to TLJ minus TIJ. So 8 minus TIJ 8, that is 0. Okay, so this is the data entry. We have calculated event times and we have calculated activity times. Okay, and last step is calculate float values. Total float can be calculated by total float is equal to in difference between any start values, these two, or difference between any two finish values, 0 minus 0 or 8 minus 8. EFT minus LFT minus EFT or LST minus EFT. Sorry. EST. Okay. So that is 0 minus 0 or 8 minus 8, that is 0. Next one, free float, that is expressed as FT, and FF free float is equal to FT minus SJ. Simple. FT is 0, SJ is 0. That is 0 again. And FID independent float was FF minus SI. FF minus SI, again 0 minus 0, 0. Okay. So right now there will be no complications. It was just simple values. As the events progress, there will be difference in values and there will be float values. Okay. So we will just write a number of them: 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 2 to 5, 3 to 6, 3 to 7, 3, 1 to 4, 3 to 6, 3 to 7. Okay, so there are a number of more values. A double of this size will be following downwards, but as the time limits and space limits, we are confining with these 5. Okay, you are required to do all the. Okay, and 1 to 3 duration is 9. 1 to TIE is again 0, 0. Difference is 0. T head event is 9, 11. SJ is 2. 11 minus 9. Okay, EST is TEI, that is 0. EFT is 0 plus 9, that is 9. LFT is LFT, there is LFT. TLJ, that is 11. LST is 11 minus 9, that is 2. Right. Then FT is difference between these two or these two, that will be 2. Free float is FT minus SJ, that is 2 minus 2 minus 2, that is 0. And FID is FF minus SI, that is again 0 minus 0, 0. Okay, the same manner 1 to 4 duration was 8, 0, 0, 0. TAJ 8, 13, 5, 0, 8, 13, 5. FT difference is 5. FF FT minus SJ 0. FID FF 0 minus SI 0. Okay, 3 to 6, 3 to 6. Duration is 6, 9, 11, 2. 6 is 16, 20, 4. EST is 9. Duration is 6, so 15. LFT is 20. Duration is 6, so 14. Difference is 5. FF is FT minus SJ, that is 5 minus 4, that is 1. FID FF, that is 1 minus SI, SI is 2, that is minus 1. That is normal. FID can be minus. Duration 3, 7. Duration is 7. 9, 11, 2. 16, 18, 2. EST 9. 16, 18, 11. FT is difference between these two, that is 2. FF is 2 minus Sj, that is 0. FID is 0 minus 2, that is minus 2. Okay, so you have completed 5 activities. Now you have remaining 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 activities in total. Okay, so complete the full list and try to do as much problems like this. Okay, so just calculate event times, then convert it into a table, and from the table just calculate activity times and flow times. That's it. Okay, thank you. This is the complete solution of that question. So please refer to this after completing by yourself. And in some textbooks they have not referred, or they have not included tail event values and head event values in table. They have just taken the activity times and floats from the network itself. It can be done, but I personally think for many people it will be easy if we express like this. If we have Sj and Si in the table itself, so that we can just subtract from Ft to get other floats. Okay, so I hope this was helpful. So this is the practice question number 1. So in this question you have already given Te and TL values from the question itself. So you can just substitute from this figure, or you can get these values into a table that we just before. So this is second question for practice. In this question you have to draw the network diagram by yourself using these details. And after drawing network diagram, you can find out T and TL values for each of the events, and then go on with activity times and float values. Okay. For the matter of critical path, finding critical path as per the question, and minimum project duration, you just need to find T and TL values. Okay, we have already found critical path and minimum project duration using T and TL values in the last video. Please refer to that also. Okay, thank you.